What I object to is people being paid for sex. That's it. I don't have any other opinions about people's sex lives. As long as they're consenting adults in private, they can do whatever they want. They can do it with the lights on or off, swinging from the chandelier. They can even take it up the bum while singing God Save the Queen, for all I care. In short, I am definitely not part of a campaign to get people to only ever have vanilla sex. I'd even go so far as to say that if I somehow discovered I was living in a town where everyone did only have vanilla sex, I might even consider moving. So I hope that's cleared that up. I'm not a prude, I just object to people being paid for sex. So why? Well, let's consider a typical money purchase, such as me buying a coffee. The money I hand over has an amazing ability to affect people's lives. It can make some pencil-necked youth waste his Saturday serving coffee to people. It can make another guy drive through the night to deliver that coffee. And it may even have made some peasant in far-off Bolivia walk 3 miles up a hill just so he could pick those coffee beans. Because that's the thing about money, it's totally mercurial, by which I mean that it can flow over vast distances and get into every nook and cranny of people's lives. Which makes it very useful, of course, but it also makes it very dangerous. Basically, money allows people to control a situation even when they are miles away and completely insulated from the consequences of what their money does. For example, that coffee-picking peasant on the other side of the planet might have a sick child he wants to look after, but money makes him spend all day in the fields instead. That's how powerful money is. Now, obviously the money I pay for my coffee is not going to have much effect on our hypothetical Bolivian peasant. But the other thing about money is that it's very easy to move it about. So, unlike, say, grain or geese or any other commodity, it's very easy to create a concentration of money, which does give you a lot of influence. So, some people might say we should abolish money, but I don't think so, given that it's so much more convenient than wandering around with a goose under your arm, trying to find something to barter for it. However, we do need to recognise that under a capitalist system, money allows certain individuals to wield a disproportionate amount of power and influence over people's lives. Or, to look at it from the opposite angle, while you're trying to just live your life, the money system is constantly interfering to control what you do. Maybe that's not too bad, maybe it's all part of the trade-off we make for the advantages of living in a modern world. But, faced with that situation, it's only reasonable that we, as a society, would want to place some limits on how much the money system can interfere in people's lives. And that's just another way of saying that once an event involves money, society has a right to intervene and express its collective opinion about that event. Obviously, society's influence should be exercised with a light touch, but the essential point I'm making is that there doesn't need to be an element of coercion before society can legitimately get involved in a transaction involving money. For example, if you get a pal to come over and help you with your gardening, that's between you and him. But if you pay a professional gardener, then he has to have insurance, maybe even a recognised certificate, etc., etc. Equally, there's a big difference between your girlfriend giving you a few driving lessons or paying a professional for the same help. And the world's full of examples like that. Situations which only involve consenting adults who haven't been coerced in any obvious way, but where nevertheless everyone agrees that it's reasonable for society to have some influence over what happens, simply because money changes hands. And the reason for that is that actually there is an element of coercion, given that the very nature of money gives it a unique ability to coerce people and control how society develops. And that's why society has a right to defend its values and norms by intervening in otherwise non-coercive events which involve money. And okay, on one level, what I've said so far could be seen as supporting the idea that we should decriminalise the sex industry, then regulate and reform it, the same as any other service industry. However, in another vid, Sex Industry and Sadism, I've already explained why I think the sex industry has a uniquely corrosive quality, which means that the appropriate intervention by society is to make it illegal to buy sex, aka the Swedish model. In this vid, I just wanted to establish that because of money's overwhelming ability to control people's lives, it is appropriate in principle for society to intervene in any event which involves money, even when the people taking part are, superficially at least, uncoerced, consenting adults. So let's not hear any more of this nonsense about no one tells me what to do. I mean, okay, there's no money involved, that's fine, on you go and good luck to you. But where money changes hands, if you want to be alone to yourself, well, I'm sorry, but the answer might have to be, niet.